Oh, hey Rhys, what's going on today?
Thanks for your patience. You've been wonderful. You've been wonderful putting up with my interesting personality this evening for everyone who's been patiently waiting. So Kate, Anson, and Sherry Lance are going to be our next readees for the evening. Give it a shuffle. Give 'em a shuffle. Ooh! Okie dokie, apparently that's what we're doing. Interesting. No. I'm going back in. Give it a shuffle. Rude. There's so many jumpy cards when I'm shuffling for you, Miss Kate. That's very interesting. So what is jumpy or flighty for you at the moment? Interesting. Whoop. Wow. This shuffle is interesting. I haven't even pulled cards properly yet, and it's already interesting. It's going to be a good one. Oh. Okay. The card basically jumped out itself. That was funny. So, as is always, I will go through the cards first with you, and then I will surmise the message at the end. So the first card is the surrender card, and it says, I can release my need to control. This is where we're coming from in the situation, by the way, or where we're coming from where you're presently at, which we'll get to that column in a moment. The change card, that's what it looks like. Out of alignment, in alignment. But out of alignment, the change card, and it says, I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And then over the top of that, doubt. In alignment, right? And the doubt card says, I release the need to know all the answers. In the current positioning, right, is the envy card. And the envy card says, I'm the same as everybody but with different challenges. That's where we're currently at. The future of the situation, right, is the trust card. And it says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. Now what we don't see coming. The imagination card. And the imagination card says, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Now, it's funny, it's interesting. I don't know about anyone else. If there's been people here who have been watching for this entire session, I've noticed a trend, and I might speak on it at the end, but I've noticed a trend with everybody's sessions tonight has to do with, or their reads that I'm giving to you all, it has to do with a lot, on the whole, you know, being protective of your mental space, being protective and putting in appropriate boundaries or maintaining appropriate boundaries for you to make sure you're okay. Yeah? Interesting. So now I'm going to surmise all of those cards for you. The surrender card, right, and the change card out of alignment, followed by the doubt card in alignment. This is speaking of a change. Oh, when are you telling me about, Spirit? 10 months ago? It was either 10 months ago that this happened, or it was beyond 10 months ago, right? But what it's essentially saying is that you were struggling to surrender to the change that you were coming into, which is where you're currently sitting in it. You're sitting in the seat that you were struggling to get into because of negative self-talk and doubt. So that's where you've come from, right, in the situation. That's why the envy card's in the present seat, yeah? being I am the same as everybody but with different challenges.
Don't forget to click the notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube, or like and share if you're watching this on Facebook. Thanks for subscribing.
Interesting. Okay, I feel one thing that maybe, I don't think you're questioning this at the moment so heavily in your life, but it's almost like things are going so good. What's next? Like, what do I do next? Where do I go? Or maybe you got to an achievement or a destination of a goal quicker than expected or anticipated, and you didn't quite have the next steps after that plan, and you're like, okay, I'm here now, what do I do next? Like, that's why the trust card is in the future column. Again, I'll read it to you. It says, I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly, right? That's because Spirit is telling you, stay and do as you are right now. As in, you are in an enviable space in whatever relates to this situation. Again, I'm going to go back here for a second to help you kind of contextualize what this is in reference to in your life. Whatever this lack of surrender and, this lack of being able to surrender to change is, from the negative self-talk back in the past, whatever that is, it's the same thing with you being in an enviable position now. It relates to the same thing somehow. You being in an enviable position, right? But just, again, it reminds me, what I keep being shown in my head is being reminded that, like, almost like if you've experienced adversity so many times, or you've experienced loss so many times, or you've experienced these things, you start to become so used to it that it's like, when things aren't going wrong, you're like looking around. You're like, is that broken yet? Did that break over there? No, that's working. Is that broken? You start looking for problems that aren't there, right? And I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but it is a risk that could occur should you not. Just trust. Just trust. Just trust. Just trust. Woosa. It might not feel very, it might not feel the same as it has in the past for you. Yeah, okay? But what I can suggest is enjoy the enviable position while you're in it here. Yes? Because I feel like you are going to climb to different spaces in the future because of this trust. That to me is indicative of this card here, over here, what you don't see coming. So the imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. That's because I believe you'll be sought after when you keep in this space of being in that enviable position, so to speak, right? You'll be sought after for the way you do something, or the way you approach or attack something, or creatively deal with something, right? That's your skills will be required and wanted, and you won't see it coming because, again, you're just staying in this middle lane of being in the enviable position. Perfect, right? So I think your overall message here, trust. Just trust. If you're questioning, am I going in the right direction? It's very quiet. Am I going in the right direction? You are. You've just got to keep that middle lane. Again, theme of the day, trend alert, is mental stuff. A lot of negative self-talk and a lot of maintaining our boundaries that we've put in place, or the ones that we've been developing, or things like that in these reads today. So I hope that helped, Kate, by the way. Trust. Yes? Trust and believe. I believe.
Catch you on the flip side.